It's cold down here again. So, these joints, obviously done on a chop saw, and they're actually need a bit of sanding, but they're actually not bad. So I'm just going to line these boards up, and I'll whack them with a sander. Clamp them down. And I'll whack them with a sander quick, just to even them out. Don't use moon. Got a bit of a bend in this one, which is seems to be the bane of my existence, is bends. So I just want to tidy these up a little bit. I'm sure this isn't the best way of doing it. Or do I just skip it and just do it one by one, give them a quick whack? Clamp, these do need to get routed for the back. I guess I can grab some clamps. Quick. And do a quick sort of dry fit and see how these fit together. Just take a plain workbench into a workbench that is absolutely covered in crap. That's a good one. That's a good one. You two line up properly. I see. If you line up properly, it's still a bit of a. So, I put a straight edge across these 45-degree miters that I did on the saw. This way they're good. You put an angle on them, there's a slight rock. I can only attribute this to, and it's never a piece of chalk when you need one, the blade actually flexing. Where's my chalk? The blade actually flexing. So when you're cutting down the 45, bear in mind this is a lot of fucking blade to be hanging out of the saw, spinning at 10 bazillion miles an hour. I can only assume that the reason for the inconsistency in my 45s is welcome to Crayola coloured chalk. Blue. Let's go with two colours. We'll go with blue and green. This is a shit piece of wood. I need something I can draw on. You're a designer, Dowsett. Piece of wood. Right. How to explain this? with the green square being the piece of wood and the blue line being the actual angle you're cutting, I can only assume that what the blade is doing is this, an unhappy face. Because drops chalk, breaks chalk. Damn it. How's a brand new piece of chalk? I can only assume that's what's happening because I was very careful in my cuts. I was very careful of holding the piece of wood. It didn't slide, it didn't do anything else. It could have done with better clamping, but the net result is here, this is fine. But as soon as I put it on an angle, I've got a rock. So I have to fix this. Now, obviously I can't put it through the table saw. I'm not going to run it back through the that saw. It's time to fire up the big guns. And when I say the big guns, I mean I have to move a bunch of crap out of the way of something that I need to use that I don't use very often. So we're going to change position and let's get this done. Cheers. It's going to be hard to see where I'm going. Actually, I know where I'm going. It's going to be hard for you to see where I am going. Do you remember all the shit that I moved the other day that I said was in the wrong place? Well, yeah, now it's definitely in the wrong place. These are air filters for the other duster truck. Saw benches. Here is a disc sander. Once I move all the crap out of the way and get rid of that out of the way, it shouldn't be there. This is plugged in, which isn't plugged in. Oh. So this is an actual 20-inch disc sander, which is covered in shit. But this is what we're going to use to flatten out those 45s. Good. Holy shit. That is way out of whack. Also, okay, how do you adjust this? Oh, hello. There is a thingy thing here. I've not used this that much. Is this a fucking one of those? Yeah, it is. Right. No, that's still way off. But this is definitely loose. This doesn't have a handle on it. Okay, it's just an angle pivot. And that is. Let's try this. Right, well that's as near as fucking damn it. Lock that in. Right. That is at 90 degrees. World's shittiest switch. Oh. Let's see if that fucked my links up. The top end of this is good. Bottom is crap. I almost want to fucking get a when your clamps aren't big enough. What? When in doubt, get a big clamp. This may be a clamping nightmare, but that inside corner is much nicer. But this is good. That's what I want as a uni. Top corner's crap, but that works. I only see a little bit of light, but that little squeeze on the side, we're all good. So, next step, glue. We'll figure it out. Right, need to do some rabbits on the router table, so we'll go over here. I do have a router table. Boing, boing, boing. I'm going to put you over here. And hopefully I won't fall over. Router table. So we're going to do some rabbits. That's how quick it is to get the backs on these things. It's pretty damn fast. We'll move. Christ, 3 minutes 44 seconds. I've already rabbited all those bits. Stay there. Camera is dying. Right. Time to glue and clamp. Given the jankiness of those joints, I'm going to let that set up. How the fuck am I bleeding already? I'm going to let that set up. Bleeding somehow. I'm going to let that set up for at least 4-5 hours before I think. Normally I would go do the other side, but as per usual, I'm out of workbench space, and this behind here is too much work to actually clean, and it's not flat. So we're back in a bit. Peace. There's been a distinct lack of uploads. Work's been busy and my back's been an arsehole, so I've been doing a little bit of work here and there. I didn't really want to film. I was just trying to get stuff done. So here's an update on El Walnut. So you got to skip all the gluing. Front is 45'd, inside is 45'd all the way around, all the way to the back. We're glued, we're filled, so there's filler in all of the corners. Right now, the next job, other than a whole bunch of sanding, is going to be marking out where the holes go for the shelves. Now what's amusing about this is, well, it's not amusing, it's just a bit of a pain in the ass, to be honest. I'm doing my tea. Is this workbench is quite high. So to actually mark anything out, I have to put it on the end. So I have to find a gap between the cables, and there's not many spots that I can actually find to do it. Anyway, so excuse the lack of uploads. Back's still hurting, but what I'm going to do today is I'm going to just mark out and measure, mark out and drill where the pinholes are going to be. And then I might start getting the pinholes drilled because it's a display case. So I need, actually, realistically, I only need to measure down halfway and just put a shelf in, which should be easy. But don't worry, I'll make it more complicated, as I always do. I will put you over here. You can go here. A slightly different view for a change. At least you'll be able to see. I've got to turn that on. At least you'll be able to see what I'm doing, and I'll try and talk whilst I'm doing it. That's fine. Chances are I'll probably, yeah. Come for another day. On that note, Al, peace. See you tomorrow.